जय गजानन गणेशाय नमस्तुभ्यं हेरंबाय एकदंतिने स्वानंद वासने तुभ्यं ब्रह्मणस्पतये नमः. Humble pranams to all Paramacharyas, Acharyas and Gurus. Let us continue our discussion of Jnanasara of Vinayaka Rahasyam, Volume 1. Now, in the abode of Svananda Loka, in the abode of Ganesha, Brahmanaspati, in the Svananda Loka, there are several Shaktis who are present. Not only Siddhi, Buddhi, there are other Shaktis also present there. What is the subtle difference between each of these Shaktis? This is the substance of the next question that Narada asks to Surya. He says, Shakti, Maya, Mahalaxmi are all the names attributed to Siddhi. Parvati is called Shakti, Bhargavi is called Laxmi. Lord, tell me the difference from the point of view of Vedic principles. What do these differences in names signify? Surya replies, Maya Siddhi is known by various names such as Rama, Bhumi, Rati, Gouri, Prabha, Amba, Yogarupini as well. Even the name Maya denotes Sanyoga Ananda Rupini, that is the form that gives Ananda or pleasure through union, which is the name Vedas sing while referring to Siddhi. The word Laxmi is said in two ways, that is Rama for Siddhis and in Shrutis for twice born. The word Siddhi of Maha Siddhi as Rama is well known. Maha Siddhi is Vishnu's wife, as Vishnu's wife is verily the form of the Atman. Shakti is only as power of Siddhi. The word Siddhi is mentioned in Vedas as Shakti, best of twice born. And Prabha, Rati, Bhumi, Gouri and others are all well known as the wives of individual different elements. Shakti, Laxmi and Sanyogarupini are enactors of Siddhi according to Gaanapats, favoring Turiya Brahma, which is the truth. Then what is the difference between Buddhi and Vani? So here Narada is asking, the next question is, Gauri, Vani, Mahamaya are all names attributed to Buddhi. The name Gauri represents born of the Giri mountains, Girirajaputri. So the word Vani represents that born of Bharat. Lord, tell me about their difference based on Vedic principles. Surya said, Uma, Rama, Rati, Prajna are derived from the syllables of alphabets. The collective Maya is known as Mahabuddhi. Buddhi is praised as the mouth of the Shrutis, that is the sound of the Shruti of whatever is heard when it is spoken, it becomes Shruti, the spoken word. Buddhi is also a name of Shakti for hearing, by which we get the knowledge. So first we listen and then we say. Brahma Maya is divided into two, Siddhi and Buddhi. Their distinction can be best understood through their husband. The Shrutis differentiate all female gods by adding the word Sa. So, Mahasiddhi and Mahabuddhi are known as Siddhi Buddhi. Buddhi is also addressed as Saraswati. Parashakti is Sanyogarupini. Earlier, Gaanapatha called Buddhi the Turiya state of Brahma. Maya was Paramamaya, who was Buddhic Jnana Swarupini. The Shakti for enjoyment stands to the right of Brahmanaspati and is the enchanter of Buddhi in the form of Siddhi, whose nature is Maya. So Buddhi is the one who does the work. Union of Siddhi Buddhi together are the forces of creation and the world and are the beloved of Brahma. Siddhi desires everything in the world of Brahma. But without the help of Buddhi, Jagat Brahma cannot get her support. So the cause of everything is the self-regulated Buddhi, that is the discriminating intellect of Buddhi, and the doer and giver of everything is Siddhi, who is regulated by Gajanana. Gajanana can work through Siddhi only in the presence of Buddhi. Have no doubt about this. Then Narada asks, a Ganapata uses Durva, Shammi, Mandar and Shvetarka blossoms in Brahmanaspati Puja. And it is appreciated very much. What is the reasoning for condemning the use of Tulsi? Why is Tulsi not used? Please tell me. Surya replies, it is well known that the power of the Anna Brahma, the power of food, is represented by Durva. It was said that during the Amrit Manthan, the Meru mountain was not moving. So at that time, Brahmadeva asked, what is wrong? So at that time, it was found that they did not worship Ganesha. So when he worshipped Ganesha, Siddhi Buddhi manifested, and Siddhi Buddhi gave seeds to Brahmadeva of Durva. So that was the initial food which was then planted when the earth came out, and then represents food as such. So food gives enjoyment as stated in the Vedas. Siddhi Buddhi Swarupini is the Maya that gives these divine enjoyments. Leelas are enacted in the universe through forms for the benefit of the people. That is, various objects of enjoyments are there which is for the enjoyment of the people. The power of enjoyment is established equally with the Supreme in Ganesha's administration. It is the Durva used by Paramba to take an oath. So just with the Durva grass, with that blade of grass is enough to take an oath. That is, when you want to take a sankalpa, you can take with that and little bit of water. It is a grass with shoots and leaves. It's the most preferred offering by Ganesha. Shammi represents Prakriti, while Shvetarka is Purusha in nature. Experts on Vedas consider Mandar to be representative of the Turiya state. The blossoms of Shvetarka and then Mandar and Shammi leaves are Ganesha's favorite. The leaves and flowers are all feminine in nature, while trees are male in nature. The Lord can be offered leaves and flowers. Tulsi is actually the favorite of Vishnu. It is in the nature of Maya who enchants physically. Due to a curse, she was converted into a tree. What is most essential is in Ganesha's worship is the absence of bodily attachments. There should be no physical attachments. In an incident related to Tulsi, Tulsi tried to infatuate Ganesha, that Shiva's son Ganapati, who was a brahmachari. When he was when he was small, and he was in Kashi, where he was sent as Dundi during Devodasa's reign. At that time, Tulsi tried to infatuate Ganapa and Ganesha, and he got annoyed and he cursed her. Brahmanaspati got angry and cursed her. Frightened, she ran to Keshava. She was unworthy of becoming Ganesha's wife due to her attachment to the body. So, Svanandesha Gajanana had the divine head of Brahma. He recalls the sustainer of the world Vishnu and recognized it to be the face of Maya. Ganesha alone is one who has the head of Brahma. So anyone who has a face of Maya is always fragmented like the Tulsi leaves. One with the face of Brahma cannot be fragmented and hence scorned Tulsi leaves. The woman scorned by Ganapati is considered unfit to wed. She became the Tulsi shrub due to Ganesha's curse and is prohibited in the use of Ganesh Puja. On Vinayaka Chaturthi, however, during the month of Bhadrapad, a devotee of Ganapa is permitted to worship Vinayaka with 21 leaves of Tulsi leaves on that day alone, and that too by the eldest person in the house. Similarly, for Vaishnavas, there is no worship without Vrinda. The uninitiated will always remember the vision of hell that Vrinda had to face. It was due to the curse of Shiva's son Ganesha on Vrinda Maya, who tried to enchant him. Vrinda was cursed by Ganesha, who had the face of an elephant representing Brahmanaspati. Now Vrinda, if you remember, he was she was the wife of Jalandhar. Jalandhar was an incarnation, not an incarnation, he was born out of the fury, the anger, the fire of Shiva. And when Shiva once Indra, as usual, he was cursed, and when he was wandering on the earth, he happened to insult one Rishi who was a devotee of Shiva. So Shiva happened to notice that, and annoyed with that he had insulted his devotee, he was furious at Indra. So the third eye opened and a ball of fire emerged from it, and it started pursuing this Indra, who ran all over the place. He couldn't, the ball of fire kept following him. Finally, he came near the ocean. So it was Shiva instructed that this particular ball of fire should be put into the ocean to be cooled down, and then when then what emerged after several years was this Jalandhar. That is why his name called Jalandhar. He was born from the sea. He was taken care of by a mermaid on the seashore. Then finally it was to him that Vrinda, one of the chieftains of the Daityas. Now this Jalandhar was educated. I mean, he was taught all warfare and everything by Shukracharya, who was the rishi for the Danavas. Then he was married to this Vrinda, who was the daughter of one of the chieftains, and she had the curse where Vishnu. She was actually a Vishnu devotee. She was worshipping Vishnu, Mahavishnu, and whereas Jalandhar did not like that. Means he was wondering who is it that she is worshipping, but she was very staunch on worshipping Mahavishnu. So when the marriage of this Jalandhar and Vrinda was fixed, Vishnu assumed the form of Jalandhar and came to that place where there was a war going on. Jalandhar and Indra and all the army was in the battlefield. But at that time, Vrinda was praying. Then Vishnu appeared there, and he said, he wanted to, and the marriage, the preparation for marriage was already ready. So he sat there as Jalandhar. In Jalandhar's form, he took the form of Jalandhar and sat as a husband of Vrinda. But when while doing that various steps in that marriage ceremony, when the time came to the garland Vishnu, Vrinda sensed the difference in the vibration. She immediately sensed that this is not Jalandhar. So then immediately she asked, "Who are you?" So then Vishnu had to disclose who he actually was, and then she cursed Vishnu, and he was turned into a rock for a several centuries, you can say, for a long period of time. This is the story of that Vrinda, because of the curse of Ganesha, because she had laughed, and because of his face of an elephant. So some of these, similarly, Tulsi also had tried to enchant Ganesha, and she was the victim of the curse of Ganesha, and so she is not used as in the puja of Ganesha, except the concession after she did a lot of penance. Ganesha accepted on the Bhadrapad Krishna Vinayaka Chaturthi. 21 leaves can be offered by the eldest in the family once a year. So this is the interesting aspects on the Ganesha worship. We shall see more such details in the next session. Jai Gajanan.